on your list for what you need, okay, for spices is going to be cumin. Okay. So I have it in here. I usually get all the spices from Alice's place in Sturgeon.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, it's cheaper that way and it's better.
Yeah, I like her.
Yeah, right. You support her.
Yeah.
Cardamom. Did you have cardamom on your list?
You showed the list on Facebook, and I took a screenshot of it.
Okay, cool. All right.
Yeah.
So cumin, fenugreek, cardamom, turmeric, ginger, clove, cinnamon.
I have most of them. Yeah.
Okay.
Already.
Okay, cool. And organic sugar as well, and pink Himalayan salt.
Yeah.
Okay? So all you do, like it's so easy, is you just I put 2 tablespoons of each spice in the mix. That's it. Okay. So what I usually do, because the fenugreek, if I could get fenugreek in a powder form, then what I would do is just put them all into a little mason jar and then just mix it up. It's easy that way. Okay. But because it's in like seed form, then I'm going to mix it actually in a, in like a little, it's a magic bullet. Yeah. Yeah. That's my bullet. Yeah. So I'm going to add it all in there. I don't know if Greg's doing it with me, but anyways. I usually do 2 tablespoons. I find that when you do 2 tablespoons of each, it tends to fill up this size mason jar.
Okay. Yeah.
Nicely. Okay. So I think I did have to do my cumin, and then you mix it all up. That's it. So this spice mix is a Vata spice mix, meaning if you have a tendency more towards constipation, dryness in your skin, little more like brittle bones, you're a little bit more like, majority of people who are a little more Vata might be a little bit more like smaller bones, like sort of structure, but you'll know if you're off that way. And most of the indications is dryness. Okay. You might be like dry in the nose, especially this time of year. We're kind of moving into like the transition time of year, meaning we'll be moving into the wet time of year, but we're still in the dry time of year. So what this spice blend does is it balances that. It counters that. Okay. So if we think of some of the qualities of winter, qualities of winter would be dry. Okay. So yes, dry, cold. So all of these spices are very pungent, meaning heating, warming, activating. So they balance out. That. Right. So they balance out that dry. When we use them with oil, with oilation, that also helps to balance out the dry. Okay. Okay. We add the sugar in there because the sugar adds sweetness and actually wetness to all of that as well. So it helps to counter with the wet, the dry, and it's heavier. So that's a good thing too. Okay. I have a couple more people popping on. All right. So now that I have more people popping on, and this is going to be loud for a second. I'll try not to make it too loud. Can you guys hear that?
It's not that bad.
No. Okay. So, to those who just popped on, Yvonne, how much of each spice do you put in your spice mix?
I was never a good student at school, but let's say 2 tablespoons.
Right. You got it.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. So exactly, equal parts of each spice. So if you want to do 1 tablespoon of each, that's fine. I usually just do 2 because I live on this stuff and I use spices and everything. So that's quite all right. Okay. And so what we do is we put all that in, Ghislaine, put all that in, Kathy. Paulette is just popping on too. So Paulette, once her audio comes on, then I'm going to get somebody else to say how much we do.
There we go.
Right? So is it?
I passed the test, so I'm good.
You did? Yeah, you're good. I won't ask you again. All right, so Paulette, can you hear us as well? Yes, just shake your head so I know you, because I can see you. So if you can hear us, you can go like that. Okay. So you need all of those spice mixes. So I'm going to say the spices one more time. So you need cumin, you need your pink Himalayan salt, you need the cardamom. Okay. So it was in that list there. You'll need ginger, you'll need turmeric. Okay. Fenugreek. And it's the fenugreek seeds, likely you couldn't get the powder. Unless you got lucky and got the powder from somewhere else, then that's cool. Okay. Clove, cinnamon, and cane sugar. Okay. Natural organic cane sugar. And so now I'm going to ask Kathy, because she ran away. How much of each spice do you put in your how much of each spice do you put in your little blender? She's on mute.
1 tablespoon, 2 tablespoons, equal amounts of whatever.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
But I have to do the fenugreek first. Oh, it's two.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah, you can do 1 tablespoon of each or 2 tablespoons of each. It's not a big deal. I find that if you're putting it in, I really like these little tiny mason jars, because then too, fun little tip, when you go over to Alice's place and you get more spices, 1 scoop of spices is exactly one of these little dudes. So that's kind of cool. So when you run out of your cardamom or whatever, you're totally gone. 1 scoop gets you about this. Okay. So that's really fun. So that's all you need to do. Because you have the fenugreek seeds, you'll have to mix it all in a little ninja or a magic bullet. All right. So I'm going to throw it in my magic bullet. I'm going to mute myself for 1 second so that I'm not like burning your ears with the sound that this thing is going to make. Okay. So you guys go ahead and do that as well. Take your time. Back on. Okay. I don't know if you noticed me like shaking my thing. I do that because it's old. So sometimes when it's old, you need to give it a little help, right? Anyways, won't go there. Okay. So that is it. That's all you do. Like, how easy is that, right? Okay. Then I take it and I put it in here. So now, oh yeah, I'm just, putting it all over the place, and that's gonna fit in pretty perfectly. I'm using my hands too, but hey, whatever. It's all good. Tap it down. Where's my lid? Oh, right here, right in front of my face. Oh, good. You couldn't see that I was spilling it all over my cupboard. You made it. That's it. Okay. So how easy was that, right? Super easy. Oh, Paulette's kind of coming. She's in and out. That's okay. So that is super simple and super easy. Okay. Great one to use this time of year when you're dry. You might notice that even into the spring, when it becomes the wet time of year, if you guys want to unmute and chat, you're welcome to. When it's the spring and it's a wetter time of year, you might still have a tendency towards dryness. And if you do, using this spice mix in the spring is still fine. It's just about noticing within you what's going on. Okay. If you're a little more wet, if you're a little more dry, if you have a tendency towards overheating, skin rashes might be that overheating. Okay. So now, how do we cook with them? Right.
Question.
Yeah.
What do you call this spice?
Oh, this one it's called a Vata Churna.
Vata Churna?
Yeah. It's Vata because it's the Vata time of year. It's the air, ether time of year. And Churna is just essentially mix. Sanskrit thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
It's a Vata Churna. You can call it whatever you want to call it. You can call it winter spice mix. You can call it yum tastes so good. give me more. You can call it whatever you want to call it, right? You can call it, no, I'm just kidding. It's good. All right, so with our spices, they're very aromatic, right? So they smell good. But in order for them to have the taste as well, it's best to cook them. And one of the best ways that you can cook them is in oil, okay? So oil, what kind of oils can you use? Well, you can use an avocado oil, okay? Avocado oil, when it's heated, it has a higher, what's that called? Burn point or smoke point, essentially, right? So you can cook it on higher and it's not going to smoke and it's not going to burn. So once it smokes and once it burns, that can create free radicals within the body. And it just kind of, essentially, it's not good. Just think about it that way, okay? You can also use extra virgin olive oil. The only thing with olive oil is it tends to taste a little bit stronger. So if you like the stronger taste, that's cool. However, it doesn't have as high of a smoke point. So meaning it's better when you cook it on lower temperatures. Is that cool? Does that make sense? Okay. Good oils. Another oil. I'm coming. So both of those oils, most oils are heating oils, are activating, are like warmer oils. One, or it's not many, that are cooling oils is coconut oil. So if you have a tendency towards, like I said, that overheating, rashes, you know, you're around people and all of a sudden you're hot, coconut oil is an awesome oil that you can use. Coconut oil also has a higher smoke point, so you can cook it a little bit hotter. Okay, so you can generally put it in the oven and it'll work for you. Now, when you cook something, you do your oil. What I like to do, just as an example, let's say I'm making a rice dish, okay? I tend to use basmati rice, long grain, white rice. Very, very easy on the digestive system, especially for you Vatas that tend to have a more sensitive digestive system, more sensitive bowels and intestines, okay? Elimination section of the body. So I tend to use, oh my God, I totally lost my train of thought. Where was I? That is a complete Vata imbalance right now.
Basmati rice.
Yeah. Basmati rice. Whoa. Yeah, basmati rice. It's good. Anyways, when I cook with that, when I do a dish like that, I make the rice and then I take a pan, you know what a pan looks like, and I put oil in it. I tend to we use avocado oil a lot because it doesn't taste like much, but it is a heavier oil. So into the spring, I might choose a different oil, like a sesame seed that's not quite as heavy of an oil, but I put that in the bottom of the pan on lower, like, 3, not burning on your pan. And then I put a bunch of this in. Honestly, I don't measure this really. I'm a little generous with it. So I just kind of open the cap and go, just like that. If you're a measurer and you like to, get your tablespoons out and measure it, then that's fine. Then you can easily just take a tablespoon, put it in, boom. Then you mix all of that up and you let it simmer for a little bit. So you let it heat up. And when we let our spices like that heat up, then it activates the importance of what's in the spices. Okay. So it also creates a stronger taste, which is really, really nice. Okay. So it's enjoyable that way. So that's most of the ways that I generally cook with this. You can also add it into a soup. I add it into soups as well. However, I don't add it into a soup when a soup is boiling. So let's say I make a soup and there's still vegetables that need to cook in it, that need to break down a little bit more. I wouldn't add the spice in when it's boiling. I would add the spice in when you turn your soup down and you put your soup on simmer for like the day. Then your spices are going to really blend in there nicely and cook and be very aromatic. They smell really good. And that's when they're at like their primo potency. Does that make sense? Cool. Also, I generally don't use it dry. I don't use them dry because I want them to get activated. I want them to taste better, right? If it's dry, you might be like, you know, who takes a spoonful of cinnamon and eats it? Blah! Like it would be everywhere, right? Not good. You put it on something that's cooked. It helps. Some people put a little bit of cinnamon on apples, and like that's fine as well. However, if you want more of the taste to come through, a little bit more of the potency, the goodness in the spices, cook them a bit. Okay. Sometimes I also use rolled oats, and I would use this spice mix in with my rolled oats. And then I would add hemp hearts, chia seeds, and a banana if it's winter, because banana is a winter fruit. But that's also, and I use warm water. You can use milk. You can use whatever milks you like to use as well. However, most of them are mucus forming. So if you're already a little bit congested, then I suggest just use warm water. Okay, like boiled water, and then after just pour your water in. Then your spices will mix in a little bit. They obviously won't be as strong tasting as if you fry them on your stove in a pan. Okay. Then going back to the rice thing, once the oil is in the pan and this is all mixed up, then I throw the rice and whatever else I'm having with the rice. Generally, it's a lot of green stuff, and sometimes some mung beans as well. And that concludes. No, I'm kidding. So with all of that, does anybody have any questions about it? You're welcome to unmute and ask some questions if you like. Smell it. No, I'm just kidding. I wish that would work. Wouldn't that be the coolest thing ever?
It does smell good.
Yeah, it does.
Do you show me a mung bean?
Oh, okay, cool. One sec. Where are those? I'm looking, hang on. Where is that? Oh, there it is. It was hiding. Okay. So I ordered these ones. I think you can get them at Bulk Barn. You might even be able to get them at Alice's. I'm not positive. I ended up getting them. I got them on Amazon because they were a product that came from India, but you can get them around here. Cool. Okay. So it's just,
Are they lentils? They look like lentils.
no, they're not lentils, but they're from the legume family. Okay, they're not as heavy as lentils, and they're more easily digested than lentils. However, if you're a little bit more Vata and you have issues with your digestive system, like you eliminate your bowels every 2-3 days, might not be the best thing. Okay, because you should go every single day. Right? Yeah. Ouch. But if you don't, hey, it's ouch, but we can definitely redirect all that through this type of stuff. Are there any other questions? How does that all sound to you guys? Sound pretty fun? Yeah? Cool. Awesome. So I talked a little bit about these spices, and I talked a little bit about tastes, right? I said most of these spices are pungent, meaning spicy. I said some of them is sweet. Salt is obviously salty. So if you're interested, the tastes as well play a huge role in our nutrition and in the body and everything. Okay. So next Wednesday, the 24th at 7 p.m. I'm also doing another Zoom live, and I'm talking about all the 6 tastes, what the 6 tastes are, and how they sort of influence specific organs within our body, and how we can tell which ones might be off by looking at the tongue. So if you're interested in that, you're welcome to join me then. But I'm also going to be posting on the Sturgeon Falls page and our Body Max pages leading up to that, what those 6 tastes are. So before I say do you guys have any idea what the 6 tastes are? You want to take a crack at it? Take a guess. Beer?
Sweet.
Bitter,
Yeah. Yeah, bitter's one.
sour,
Yeah, bitter, sour.
Pungent.
Pungent. Yes, I just said pungent, right? Pungent was what?
Mung bean.
No,
I don't know.
pungent was spicy.
oh, it's spicy.
Yeah.
Okay.
Bitter. What would be bitter? Can you think of anything that's bitter? Something that a lot of people consume every single day, sometimes 2 or 3 times a day. Starts with the letter C. Yes.
Coffee.
Yes, coffee. Yeah, coffee. Very bitter.
I was gonna say
Bitter,
cereal.
yeah, bitter, not good for Vatas. Brings them more in the air. Okay, so bitter, sour. Any idea what might be sour?
A
Sour.
lemon.
Yes.
Lemon.
Yeah, a lemon. Simple. Yeah, a lemon. There's other things, but yeah, a lemon. The pungent, you said spicy. You guys know what some spicy things are. You can say some of the mix we just made. Okay. Any other taste that you can think of that might be?
Sweet.
Yes, there you go. Sweet. That's the one. That's the one that we know and love
Mhm.
dearly, right? Sweet. Yes.
But salty.
Salty, exactly. Salty. Yeah. Salt. This has its own taste. And what's salty? Salt. That's it. Salty salt. Anything else that's salty, it's because there's salt in it. And then one more that you might not know is astringent.
Oh man.
Oh, Greg, you guessed it. Yeah. Astringent. That one's an odd one, right? You're like, what the heck is astringent? Astringent would be, when your bananas are green before they're ripe,
Okay.
a green banana is astringent. Yeah. A lot of dark leafier greens are also astringent. Yeah. And bitter and other things
Yeah.
as well. But astringent is in there. Cool. So I'm going to talk about all of those and have some fun with the spices and with the spice taste. So let me know once you guys have made it and tried it, and we'll see how it tastes for you. Because we made a Vata Churna mix, and there is a fire. I said you have a tendency towards fire, towards heat. That is called a pitta. There's a pitta mix too. If you have a tendency to hold and retain water and mass, that is kapha. There is also a kapha mix. So all of those spices are said and meant to balance out where you may be in excess a little bit. Cool. Oh yeah, look here. He's showing us his pot. Did you use your spice mix in it, Greg? He's on mute, so we can't tell. Let's say yes.
Yes.
Okay. I don't think he did, because I think he said, no, I don't have it. Anyways, we're done. Does that sound good for everybody? Any more questions before we do our Friday night send off? No?
Thank you.
Okay. You're welcome. So I'm going to bid you adieu. Goodbye.
Here.
Bye.
See you guys later. Thank you for joining.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.